you want to see some shotguns? Quake II. This shotgun is a punchy, high-pitched stinger of a weapon. Just a shame it looks like a half-melted VHS tape. Now though, we're looking at the new official RTX version, and oh boy was I excited to play through these now sun-drenched corridors again. This gun feels solid and does a good job on the smaller enemies. The impacts on these fellas are satisfying, with great stagger animations rewarding a good aim. The projectile setup is nice too. You get a real sense of hitting surfaces, and the pellet spread is spot on for close to mid-range. In the end, it's a bit of a one-trick pony, and not the star of the show. Quake II's Super Shotgun really makes the world shake. It makes clearing a room more fun, however my gripe from the original Quake still applies here. It doesn't shred through enemies like Doom 2's twin barrels of fun, so it starts to feel like a chore over time due to its relatively slow rate of fire. I do still have fond memories of blasting the Strog with this gun in between the more exotic weapons found in the game, and when fighting on another world, you kind of feel at home when you carry one of these things around. The sound is a little overbearing, but you will probably have more fun with this shotgun over the course of the game. Developer id Software played it safe with this gun, and so not much more is on offer here. Unreal. It's 1998 and the flat cannon is one of the most iconic and genuine new designs for a gun. I debated whether or not this should actually be included in the series, but at the least, the primary fire mode is essentially a shotgun that fires paint bucket sized shells. It's great fun. It's animated really well with moving parts, and the shot itself ricochets around for some tactical play. And what a sound it makes too! From selection, firing and reloading, the sound this weapon makes could easily find a home in the world's best industrial rock bands of the day. This weapon qualifies as a grenade launcher in its own right too, so I'll just be looking at the primary fire here for this series. Unreal also features the Stinger, a rapid fire weapon which has a spread shot alt mode. Just thought it was worth mentioning. Enemy impacts are also decent, but not amazing. A very satisfying gun to fire indeed. Shogo, Mobile Armor Division. This gun keeps things simple and is actually a very satisfying weapon to use. I missed Shogo the first time round, so this was actually new for me, and it is a joy blasting enemy troops away. It sports nice animation and satisfying projectile impacts. A lesson in keeping things simple, this is one to check out. Star Trek Klingon Honor Guard. Here we have a nice energy shotgun that has a big crunch to its primary fire, complemented with a unique deatomizing alternate mode. Good stuff. Only issue is the basic gunplay on offer, as enemy interactions are very basic. I feel like I'm just knocking down wooden pins in a bowling alley. This weapon doesn't do anything bad at all in any category, but also nothing to elevate it higher, so it's a solid 5 out of 10. Certainly worth a look for any Trekkies out there. Blood II, The Chosen. When you get this rusty looking thing, it's great fun for the first few rounds, switching from single and double shots with great sonic punch.
Did I hurt your feelings?
Then the reality strikes that enemies were badly coded and just don't react properly. Even more surprising considering Shogo, Monolith's previous release, got this right. Interestingly, as you get a second to dual wield, it becomes less fun as you lose the choice to fire both barrels, or one at a time.
That's right, who's laughing now?
This takes away that nice rhythm and strategy, just blam blam at every target regardless of size or distance now. This is a case of the 2D original game bettering the full 3D one.
Death.
I'm aware this game was released earlier than the developer would have liked, and unfortunately it really does show. You can still get some fun out of this, but when enemies don't react properly, it really kills that feeling of satisfaction and control you have. Not a disaster, but it could have been so much more.
That's right! Who's laughing now?
Sin. This one is alright, a decent shotgun. The model looks pretty naff, but you do get some excellent impacts on enemies here.
I'm gonna make you my bitch.
Damage states are visible as texture swaps, as well as punchy dismemberment too.
Check it out.
Roger that, JC.
It's a bit over the top, but feels pretty good. Environments have a pretty good amount of destructibility to them also. Everything else, however, is pretty basic, and it does a fair job. Next up, Half-Life. Another pretty standard effort here. Doesn't do anything badly, but isn't amazing at the same time too. The model work is particularly nice, and the industry's love affair with the Frankie Spas 12 shotgun really gets into high gear now. Don't be surprised to see this model reappear several times. So it looks good, but the shot sound is just odd. I won't say it's bad, as it definitely doesn't degrade the experience, but it's certainly not conventional. In fact, I always used to think my ugly beige tinny PC speakers of the day had broken when I played Half-Life. Such was its oddly lo-fi yet satisfying sound design. Weapon animation and projectiles are done well enough, but the impact on enemies is a bit too wooden. Could have really used some more stagger animation cycles there. So it's a decent gun, but pretty basic in the end. Turok 2, Seeds of Evil.
Shotgun.
Developer Acclaim returns us to this series with a bang. The feeling of firing this shotgun after playing the previous title in this list was simply awe-inspiring. From the subtle movement of it in your hand when aiming, to the impact of each shot, sonically, it has a sharp thunderclap of a shot sound, conveying immense immediate power. The way these characterful enemies stagger and twist around when being shot, even giving you a look of disgust when shot in the arm, is a perfect way of communicating the power you can unleash, as well as your foe's emotions. There is nothing wooden here, it's all convincingly alive. Switching between regular and explosive ammo, which have very different effects on enemies, is also a joy. As well as the excellent animation work, you get multiple dismemberments too, depending on where you placed your shot. And these are not just detaching jaggy polygons at random either. I remember playing this when released on the N64, and even then, with the low frame rates and blurry textures, I knew this was a beautifully crafted weapon and enemies with which to shoot. Night Dive Studios did an exceptional job bringing this game back to life for modern systems, the footage you're seeing today. I was probably one of the most excited fans of the original game to play this again in 4K 60. A lot of love went into the design of these weapons, and it shows today more than ever. It's a perfect shotgun, and the first 10 out of 10 in this series so far. Like I said, the devs put a lot of love into this game, and what a way to better your own perfect shotgun creation than with the Shredder. It's as if shotgun shells and explosive laser light shows were meant to be together. Nothing like it before, and it makes you feel like an absolute badass. Its explosive rounds literally shreds enemies to pieces, while regular shots add tactical play by bouncing a cascade of fragments everywhere, bouncing repeatedly until lodging into some dinosaur's face. And my goodness, the 5.1 audio immersion when firing this too. It never gets old. Superb sound design for every shot and ricochet. This is world-class weapon design right here. It's an absolute must-play, and the recent remaster giving you the ability to play this in 4K with full surround sound support is one of FPS gaming's finest offerings. Not one, but two perfect 10s in one game. Just wonderful, I love it. That's all for this episode. See you in the next one. Hit subscribe for more. I love it.